Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samaria Adore for the ones that don't know, and this is Ladies of Wisdom. Yeah, 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 yeah. And this is Ladies of Wisdom. What about it? Thank you. Let me stop. Hi y'all. We are in a new location for right now, right? Because let me move this. I'm always moving something when I'm talking to y'all. Like, I always got to move something. You know what I'm saying? This is a whole different setting, a whole different dynamic. Well, basically my birthday was yesterday, so turn up for the birthday girl, for the birthday girl, for the birthday girl. Your girl is halfway to 30. Do I look like halfway to 30? Let's talk about it though. Today we are going to be in the School of Wisdom. Yes, come back to class. Come on. In here before I close the door. In here. In here. So this is the month of June. And so we will have one class a month. June and July. And then hopefully by God's grace in August we'll start back doing 2 classes a month. But just 1 class a month in June and July. And so if you guys hear noise in the background, it's because, you know, the highways, the byways back there. And so yes y'all, I hope you guys are ready because we are in Proverbs. Yes we are. We are going to start in verse I guess it's in or on verse 17, and we're going to go all the way to verses 27 to 28. So let's just get right into it. So the first verse says, those who love pleasure become poor. Those who love wine and luxury will never be rich. The key word is love. There's nothing wrong with pleasure. There's nothing wrong with certain things pleasuring you. Like for instance, some ice cream. It can be pleasure to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Or going to the movies. That's pleasurable for somebody. But it's when you love it. Because now the thing about love is that your heart is on this thing. The thing about love is that your whole will, mind, and emotions is on this thing now. And because of that, that's where the detriment happens. That means that your love is not going towards God, because God may be telling you, I don't want you indulging in those pleasures, but because you love those pleasures and your love hasn't turned to God, you'll end up disobeying God. So it's really just saying God first. It's really just saying God first, that the love has to be with God. And yes, you can have certain pleasures that you enjoy or like. Of course, we're not talking about no, you know, sin of a pleasure, but good pleasures, right? And then it goes on to say, those who love, the key word is love, wine and luxury will never be rich. This is telling me, because we know that wine isn't bad. It's just you can't get drunk in wine. That's why it's saying love, because when you love it, you'll end up getting drunk in it. Even luxury, nothing wrong with luxury. As a Christian, and this is the thing, we need to debunk this myth, because it's this idea that Christians are supposed to be poor. They're supposed to not have nothing. They're supposed to look like what they've been through. I'm not gonna look like, I'm not gonna look like what I've been through. I'm not gonna look like what I've been through. I tell you that much. And so it's this thing that we're not supposed to like luxury. Y'all, my camera, I need a new camera because this camera is acting up. So it's almost like this thing that we're not supposed to like nice things. But the Bible is saying love. The key word is always love. You can have luxury. You just can't love luxury, because that means that your heart is getting taken away from God. Even when the Bible talks about the love of money, it's the love part. It's not saying that you shouldn't have money. It's the love, because that's something deep, you know? So the next verse goes on to say, that the wicked are punished in place of the godly, and traitors in place of the honest. So basically, people are getting what they deserve. This world is so backwards. So the godly are getting punished for things that they haven't even done. Like, we get false accusations. Understand, Jesus was falsely accused. He was betrayed. He was lied upon. Like, there were so many different things that Jesus went through when he didn't, like, falsely, like, lied upon to the point where it was like he didn't even do the things that they said that he did. So it's almost like the godly or the honest are getting in trouble or getting persecuted or punished for things that they didn't even do. You know what I'm saying? And so this world is so backwards. It's so backwards. Like, it's so twisted. People's minds have become so twisted to where they see good as evil and evil as good. And this is basically saying, like, no, the wicked will be punished in place of the godly, because the wicked is what actually needs to be punished. The wicked shouldn't be roaming around freely. But what I've come to learn is that the wicked do roam around freely. Like, y'all, the wicked be running around freely. Many people should be maybe in jail. And this is not about being I guess you can say, what is it? This is not about being like mean or being like I don't know, because people think that when you want justice, that you ain't a part of the team. Oh, you that part of the team. I don't care about being part of no team. I care about what's right. And justice has not been served in many cases. Many people should actually be in the psych ward and getting help and getting mental help. Like, because there's a lot of people roaming around here with mental health disorders, y'all, and causing destruction and havoc upon people, where they should really be in a place where they can heal, and a place where they can, you know, really like go through what they're going through. But they're not. They're out here roaming the streets. Like, what is that? What is that? But then when people say things like that, it's like, oh, you're being mean. Oh, you're this, and oh, you're that. How dare you say that? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Then it goes on to say in verse 19, it's better to live alone in the desert than with a quarrelsome, complaining wife. Which I think this is very explanatory. You know, the Bible talks about a wife having a quiet spirit. And one thing about it, two things for sure. Because I used to be that girl that would be quarrelsome. And I wasn't a wife, but, you know, if I was in a situation, I was in a situationship. Not if I was in one. And I found myself nagging. And the reason why I was nagging was because, like, the person just wasn't doing right by me, you know, just wasn't doing right in general, you know. But I should have never been with him in the first place, or messed with him in the first place. But that is what caused a lot of quarrelsome. When you really not with who you're supposed to be with for real, when you're really not in the relationship that God has called you for. Because I believe when you're in the relationship that God calls you for, it's like there's a certain understanding there where there is less quarreling or less quarrelsome. This doesn't mean that you won't attempt to quarrel, you know. This doesn't mean that you won't attempt to do it, but maybe you'll second, like, you know, think it, or you'll think about it twice before you do it. Because I've just learned just to be quiet. Like, I've just learned to have a quiet spirit. And one thing that I've learned to do is to pray before I even try to address a situation. Because a lot of times I do like to confront situations, because I don't like to sit with certain things for too long. But I've also learned it's okay to sit with things. God got you. You could still have a sober mind. You could still have a well mind. You could still go throughout your day and sit with certain things until the Holy Spirit releases you to talk about it. I've learned that, y'all. I've learned that, you guys. And so I just come here to tell y'all, like, you know, if you plan on being a wife, it's so important to understand that you cannot be quarrelsome, because then you'll become annoying. And then once you become annoying, he not gonna like you for real. Next thing you know, the relationship is just off. And it don't gotta be off. And it's so crazy because it says it's better to live alone in the desert. So this person rather be out in the desert where there's no food, no water, it's dry, basically a dry land, than to be with a woman that is being annoying. Y'all, I feel bad for the man, girl. So then it goes on to say in verses 20, the wise have wealth and luxury. See, remember how I said nothing wrong with luxury. The Bible just says to not love it. Because then we go to verse 20 and it says the wise have wealth and luxury. Who has wealth and luxury? I think that's so important to understand. Who has it? The wise. So as ladies of wisdom, that's why we're trying to become wise. Because we want to have the wealth and the luxury, right? And it's not even luxury about luxury bags and shoes. just the luxury to do certain things. Like, imagine just the luxury to do certain things in his life. Imagine the luxury of just waking up in the morning. I have to go into a 9 to 5, being able to get up, make you your tea, and going about your business. Imagine that luxury, y'all, of these things. That's in the wise. That is the wise that are able to have those things. So it goes on to say, but fools spend whatever they get. It's not just talking about money. Fools spend whatever they get. So when they get time to work on their craft, when they get time to, you know, sit and really focus on trying to learn another skill, when they get time to do certain things outside of a 9 to 5, let's say, they spending it. They spending it on nonsense, spending it on things that don't really matter. So every single time they got time, they spending it on things that don't really matter for real. So it's saying, but fools spend whatever they get. Whatever they get. I'm not gonna lie, even though I'm a wise lady, that even checked me to look into my life to see, like, what am I spending my time on? Or every single time I get something, like, am I saving it? Because it can also be about saving. Am I saving it and investing in it? It's something to really take heed to. So then we have verse 21. Verse 21 says, whoever pursues righteousness and unfailing love will find life, righteousness, and honor. What does it mean to pursue? That means that you go after it. Like, you literally go after it with all your heart, your mind, your being. You go after it. The Bible is saying whoever pursues righteousness and unfailing love, which means that you have to pursue always having love in your heart. You have to pursue embodying love, unfailing love, a love that never fails, which means that love has to be unconditional. And people don't understand how rare it is to be someone that has unconditional love. It's rare. It's rare, you guys, because that's only found in God. You can't have unconditional love without God, y'all. And the Bible is saying that this person will find life, will always have life. Death is not her portion. Righteousness and honor. People will honor you and respect you because you carry something so rare. You carry something so rare, which is righteousness and unfailing love. So let's go on to verse 22. The wise conquered the city of the strong and leveled the fortress in which they trust. The Bible says the wise conquer the city of the strong. Ooh. Which tells me that strength is not enough. It's wisdom, because wisdom is strategy. You can be strong with no strategy. You could be strong with no strategy, and the wise will take you out every single time. The Bible says the wise conquered the city of the strong. And when I think of the strong, I also think about the prideful. Because many times prideful people, they're very strong. Hard rock, hard rock, hard rock, hard rock, hard rock, hard rock. Right? But the wise know how to conquer the city of the strong, because the wise has to be humble. In order to even receive the wisdom of the Lord, you have to fear the Lord, which tells me that you have to walk in a level of humility and humbleness. So you're able to get the insight, the understanding. You're able to have the mind of God to be able to conquer the city of the strong, right? And level the fortress in which they trust. I think about it like this. The strong sees themselves at like a high standard that they're not supposed to be on. Like, they're not supposed to be up there, but because of pride, because of the strong, because of pride, it causes them to bring themselves at a high place. But the wise comes in. This is so good. The wise comes in and the wise levels it, because now what happens is the strong will start to see that they're not as strong as they think that they are. They're not as big up in the air as they think that they are, because the wise comes in with strategic warfare. The wise comes in with the mind of God to be able to conquer the city. So now what the wise does is it levels the fortress. It basically almost like what is it, like scales and balances, how like it tips like this, well, the wise comes in and levels it. The wise comes in and actually puts things in order, because girl, that pride will cause people to think that they are way more than what they think they are. And this is not to say that you shouldn't be confident. This is not to say that you shouldn't be, feeling yourself and, being confident in the Lord, of course. But some people be having their heads high up in the sky to the point where they need a humbling. Yeah, I said it. They need a humbling, because it can get very sickening, and it can get very unruly and like very delusional, you guys. And so yes, y'all, the wise comes in and levels it and says, and then it really does humble them, because you don't come in all strong like them. You come in just being who God has called you to be, and it literally humbles them. It literally humbles them, y'all. The next verse, this is verse 23. It says, watch your tongue and keep your mouth shut, and you will stay out of trouble. Death and life is in this tongue. So when you have guard over your tongue, you will keep yourself out of trouble. Mockers are proud and haughty. They act with boundless arrogance. Mockers, so this is describing who mockers are. So I think this is something that we need to underline and something that we need to highlight. The character of a mocker is proud, haughty, and they act with boundless arrogance. Proud, haughty, and arrogance. So this is how you're able to classify or identify demons in people, really, because it's a mocking spirit, and that's a demon. It's not of God. So then it says, despite the desires, the lazy will come to ruin, for their hands refuse to work. Your hands is what you work with. When the Bible's talking about hands, it's talking about working with your hands, working with your hands. And so working with your hands, it causes you to basically make money by doing things with your hands, whether that's typing, whether that is picking up, picking up packages, whether that's dropping off packages, whether it's doing hair, whatever. These hands get to work, whether that's content creating, media, filming, editing, things of that nature. These hands get to work. All of us have desires, right? But the lazy has desires, but their desires will come to ruin because they don't want to work the hands. They don't want to do nothing with their hands. So their desires will come to a ruin. Their desires will come to a ruin simply because they don't want to put in the work, you guys. Verse 26, some people are always greedy for more, but the godly love to give. The godly love to give. One thing my mom told me at a young age, and I understand why now. I never understand. She would just always be like, give, 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 give. And it could almost sound a little like, wait, like how am I gonna have some money if I'm always giving? Give your time, give money, give resources, give your makeup tutorials, give your hairstyle videos. Like, give, y'all. Give. The godly love to give. The godly love to give. Especially because I'm in an arena of content creation and fashion. I've learned, like, even me sharing my outfits and my hair and things of that nature, I'm giving. You know what I'm saying? Don't be greedy, y'all. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy, because that's how things start to spoil. That's how things start to just become too much, filled with too much when you're greedy. Learn how to give, learn how to clear. One thing that I've learned is clearing out the space for more. Because once you give, that means that you have room for more. You have room for more. Not only do you have room for more, you have room for new things. Not just more, but new things. And so I'm gonna give so that I can get the new things, okay? And so, yes, y'all. And then the next verse is verse 27. It says, the sacrifice of an evil person is detestable, especially when it is offered with wrong motives. Let's read it again. The sacrifice of an evil person is detestable. Detestable means to be intensely disliked, especially when it's offered with wrong motives. Ooh, my nails. I think verse 27 is very self-explanatory, I'm not really sure how to explain that even more than what it says, but basically your motives have to be right, because you can do things like sacrifice your time. You can sacrifice. There's people that's even in church and evil, and they sacrifice their time to be on the intercessor team. They sacrifice, they do sacrifices just so that it can take away their guilt, or it can just like make them feel like they're being a good person. But the motives are wrong. You're offering sacrifices, but your motives are wrong. Your motives. What is motives? Motives is, what is the reason why you're doing what you're doing? What is motivating you to do that thing? Is it because you want money? Is it because you want fame? Is it because you want people to validate you? What are your motives? And so the evil, they can sacrifice things, but they have wrong motives on the reason why they do what they do. It's not good motives, So, yes, y'all. Then, next verse. A false witness will be cut off, but a credible witness will be allowed to speak. A false witness will be cut off. What does that mean, to be cut off? It means, nope, you can't talk. And it's so spiritual. We can't get past things. Like, we can't get away with things. I think we think that we can get away with things, but understand that we do not fight against flesh and blood, but we fight against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places and things of that nature. And so although you think you're getting away with something by being a false witness, like you genuinely think that you are getting away with something by being a false witness, by falsely accusing, falsely saying that you saw certain things, and then it may seem as if, oh, I got away with that, oh my gosh. Understand, down the line, something may take place to where people don't even believe what you say, and they may not even know that you did something in your past, like been a false witness in your past, but it's showing up in your future because it was never dealt with, or you never repented, or basically those things. And so next thing you know, in your future, you can't understand why you getting cut off. Nobody believes you. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Nobody wants to hear your side of things, because you've been a false witness back then. This is why it's so important to not think that you can just get away with things, because these things will catch up to you. These things will catch up to you. So the Bible is saying a false witness will be cut off. This is not maybe or if. This is will. It's letting you know that it will happen. If you are a false witness, it will happen. You will get cut off, right? And then it's saying, but a credible witness will be allowed to speak. Their words will be allowed to be heard. This is so powerful, even when it comes to social media. This is why you see that certain people, you don't even see them no more. You don't even hear about them no more. And this is why it's so important that if you do social media, to have integrity and to be honest and things of that nature, because you want to be able to speak. You want to be able to continuously speak, because God is not going to cut you off if you're being a credible witness, right? So then this is going to be the last verse. Okay, it says, the wicked bluff their way through. Didn't I tell y'all that the wicked roaming around, and they not getting in trouble for nothing, justice not being served? That's why they think that they can get away with stuff, and they talking about there ain't no God ain't gonna check me, God ain't gonna do nothing. Girl, the job that I work at, I'm just gonna give a little quick story. The job I work at right now, it's a lot of wickedness, but girl, I know I carry the Lord inside of me. When I get up in there, y'all, and I'm not trying to boast, if anything, I'm boasting in the Lord, because I know, I'm just wow, so many people think that they are bigger than what they truly are. When I get up in there, girl, they be scared. It be demons, but they be scared, because I know that God sent me to the wicked. I know the assignment, right? They be scared, y'all. In there, shiver me timbers, scared. I'm like, at first I'm like, y'all, I was like, God, what is going on? Like, why are they acting like this? The Lord had to reveal to me, like, you're in the place of the wicked. Like, I have you on assignment in the place, like in a facility or in a place where the wicked are. And it's almost like God allowed this to be a thing to show them that although you may think that there's no God, although you may think that you can get away with certain things, it's like you can't. You really can't. You really can't. Because I'm telling you, they be so scared. Like, when I be in there, they be so scared. And I know it's only the Lord. I know it's the Lord. I know it's the Lord, because I don't even be doing nothing. Like, the Bible talks about how the wicked will run when no one is even chasing them. This is what I've encountered in my lifetime, where it's like nobody's chasing you, but you're running away. I've encountered this. And so it's one of those things where it's just like, the wicked got to see who's truly God for real. They got to see who's truly God for real. And so it says the wicked bluff their way through life. Bluffing. What does bluffing mean? Lying, conniving, doing all that, and they not getting caught. It's like, because this world is so backwards, but God is raising up a generation of people that's going to fight for the justice of the land. And the wicked are going to have to go into the jail cell. Okay? Spiritually, physically, whatever. It's just some things are going to change, y'all. And so it says the wicked bluff their way through, but the virtuous think before they act. What does it mean to bluff your way through? Lies upon lies, manipulation upon manipulation. You just trying to get by, get through, get by. But the virtuous got to think, because the virtuous don't want to end up like the wicked. The virtuous don't want to lose their mind because they continuously lying. Because lying, the Bible says that sin is death. It's death. So when you're lying, you are receiving death in your brain. Receiving death in your brain. Your brain is deteriorating because of lies. And so the virtuous thinks, because they want to stay virtuous, and they want to stay in life. And life is having your right mind. Life is having your right body. Life is having, like, just having your senses, like literally being a human being on this earth. You know what I'm saying? And so, yes, y'all, that's really all I had to say today. I really talked a lot about the wicked. I talked a lot about justice. That's something that I'm big on too, is justice, and really people getting what they deserve. Like, enough of all that. You can't, when you have wisdom, you can't be so emotional. Yes, things can be sad. Yes, you can feel bad for people, but this is not an emotional thing when it comes to wisdom. This is what is right, and what is wrong is wrong. Having wisdom, you cannot be in your emotions, because it's like you'll make wrong decisions and God will be displeased with you. He will be very displeased with you because you keep on looking into your emotions and be like, oh my gosh, I just feel so bad. Like, dang, I just feel so bad. No, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. People need to feel. It's not all the time that they should be able to, you know, just ease by certain things. No, you got to feel so that you can actually make the change. And God knows what he's doing. And so sometimes I think we get in the way of what God is doing. And so that's all I had to say today. I thank you guys for watching me. I thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys come back to the School of Wisdom, girl, next month. I love you guys. I thank you guys. And we are